Everyone out there, Bernie Tully, personal injury lawyer, wrongful death lawyer from the law firm of Tully and Tully, with today's wrongful death question. What is the value of the wrongful death of a family member? How much is my case worth? How much can my family recover for the wrongful death of a family member? And as you might expect, there's no one answer to that question. No one could be able to say to you, well, it's worth X number of dollars. But what we can do is offer you several factors to consider that a jury would consider in determining what's the value of the wrongful death of a family member of yours. First thing you would look to is, well, what's the economic value for the loss? And how that's determined is if the family member who died was working, and let's say they were 30 years old, and they were making $70,000 a year. The law firm of Tully and Tully would get an economist to project out that number times the number of years left in their work life. Usually you work till you're about, let's say, 65 or so. So that number, that salary they're making each year would be multiplied by the number of years until they reach 65. If they were making $70,000 a year and they had a 25-year work life left with them, it would be somewhat easy for the economist to do the multiplication on it and come up with a range of numbers within, let's say, $30,000 each way of what the projected loss of earning capacity would be. That's just one factor that a jury would consider on the wrongful death as to determining how much money your family should receive in the wrongful death of your loved one. There's other factors involved. What about the medical expenses? What about how much money the medical providers are charging us? Maybe they were in the hospital your loved one was in the hospital for 2 weeks. There's going to be an awful high bill for that. Who's going to pay for it? That's another factor that's used in determining by a jury what the value of your wrongful death is worth. Another thing might be funeral expenses. Funerals are expensive these days. How much did it cost to bury your loved one? This is, I'm talking like it's in a formula type, and I know it's an emotional issue to you, but how much was the bill that you're getting from the funeral home? That's another factor involved in it. There's another issue a jury would consider is, what about the emotional part of this? That's the biggie. That's the one that drives a lot of these cases. A mother loves a daughter unquestionably. What's the emotional value of that loss of the daughter to the mother, or the mother to the daughter? How much is that worth? It's real hard to quantify it because it's such a subjective thing. But one of the things the jury again would look to is, well, how close were they? How long were they living together before the child hopefully got married and moved out? How long of a period was that? How close were they on a daily basis? All those are factored into how a jury would then come up with a number for what the economic loss is, the emotional loss is, the funeral expenses are, the medical expenses are for your loved one. Our job at the Tully and Tully law firm is to bring those factors out to the jury so that they can clearly understand just how this tragic death of your family member impacted your entire family. I will tell you, from doing this for 40 years, we travel all throughout the state of Pennsylvania. We're based in Pittsburgh. We'll travel anywhere to help you with your case. Give us a call, 412-281-8700. Bernie Tully from Tully and Tully Law Firm. Thank you so much for listening to us.